Yo, I'm Brendan, and today I brought out the big axe to show you what it looks like to fund with a big company. Interactive Brokers has approved my account, and now I finally get to fund it. I've been wanting to do this for weeks, and now we're finally here. I call Interactive Brokers a big company because there's just so many options. Look at how many options I have in terms of ways to fund my account. This is like the Costco of investing apps because we have so many options. It's incredible. I can link a bank account, and then I can trade within 4 business days. That's pretty good. But a direct ACH transfer means I can trade in 1 business day or less. I can also do a bank wire, but that has fees. I can do online bill pay, which is so interesting to me. I'd never thought about doing that with an investing brokerage before, but it's an option. I can write a check to myself with Interactive Broker mobile check deposit. I have so many options here. I can mail a check if I'm the most old school person ever. And I can transfer from Wise Balance, whatever the heck that is. Interactive Brokers just gives us so many options. It's almost too many. It's right there on the borderline of so many options, but I wanted to document this with you and show you what it looks like to get started. So if you feel similar to me, which is like, oh my gosh, options overload, then let's go through this together and see what it looks like. For me, it looks like the fastest option is a direct ACH transfer, so let's do that. For security reasons, I can't show you all my account numbers, but what it's shown me here is it's given me a routing number and then a unique virtual account number that's just for me to be able to transfer directly into my Interactive Brokers account straight from my bank. So I just have to click review and sign this little agreement that says I'm okay with doing this. Click I agree. All right, and now debit direct functionality is enabled for my account.
Sometime later.
Okay, that didn't work. So I'm going to link a new bank account and make this easy. And this is typically the way that I've linked all my investing accounts in the past. So it's nothing really new or different. We just have so many options. Now, for personal reasons, I obviously can't show you all my account numbers and balances and everything like that. But all I've done is basically click confirm a few different times, and now it's loading. Wow. So now I have to do a third-party verification with the Interactive Brokers app and put in 2 different passcodes, and then it generates me a response string. So it's verified my bank login, my Interactive Brokers login. Then I have to use my phone on the Interactive Brokers app, use the code they gave me, then it generates me a new code, and now it's finally linked. This is like Fort Knox. And through the magic of editing, 1, 2, 3, yes, and it worked. And now I finally have the option to deposit funds. Let's do it. We'll drop in a cool $1,000 to get started here. Confirm deposit. Boom. Now it's been submitted. As a courtesy, your deposit will be instantly credited to your account. What? So that's cool. I assume we can start investing like now. I'm going to go back to what I initially thought would be the best app for me and for a lot of other people who are just getting started with Interactive Brokers, and that's the Global Trader app. It's a little bit more simplified. It's a little bit more of the kind of thing that I want to live with day to day. So I've just logged in here, and now we can take a little quick tour. I like the sound of that. And we can already see even before we begin the tour that I've got that $1,000 that I just deposited showing up in here. So regardless, across the different platforms, I'm still the same me, even though they look very different. Typically, with the services that I review or I look at, they pretty much have one offering. And so Interactive Brokers is a little bit crazy here because they've got so many different ways to view and manage your account, so many different ways to invest. How serious you want to be, you can be up there with the craziest day traders if you want all that tech, or you can be just a basic casual investor and use something like IBKR Global Trader. So let's see what this thing has to offer. Sweet, so I can set up recurring deposits, I can explore new stocks, I can go down here, see what's in the news if I want to see kind of investing news and that kind of jazz. And they're really collating news from all over: Seeking Alpha, Reuters, Benzinga. Wow, lots of news. All the frickin' news. New to investing, read our quick guide, or you can have ready-made portfolios. I like a low friction to get started. I don't want to sit here and have to fight through a bunch of options. I'd rather just jump right in. So I'll look at some index ETFs, because that's typically what I like to invest in. Here's some pretty big standards: SPY, VTI, VOO, VT, and you can see I've already got one on my watch list here. Let's add a couple more, and then we'll go see what the watch list looks like. We'll look at a couple growth ETFs, some equity income ETFs. We'll throw those in there because I'm already investing in some of these. I love how simple and clear this is. It's very, very obvious what's happening. Upcoming calendar events. Here's a dividend. Here's some market data. Here's the dividend history, because for something like this, an income ETF, you're going to want to see the dividend history. Then you can see the whole point of the fund, what it's going for, what it's here for, and then any news. That's all you need. I like it. So you can see everything in my watch list here, which I don't remember putting all these in there. I think some of these are pre-built. You can kind of see what's happening with these things that you've pre-selected as things you could be invested in. And they put themselves in the list. Interactive Brokers. I didn't even know they're a publicly traded company. All right. Now the time has come to make our first trade with Interactive Brokers. Finally, let's do it. I'm going to hit the little trade button on the bottom right, and then immediately it gives me options of recently searched stuff, which is logical. Those are the things I'd want to invest in. Let's hit up some SCHD just for funsies. Ooh, and it gives me a little bit of a warning here. Hot news. It's at a recent high, and in the past this led to a decrease in price. Ooh, I'm going to buy it anyway. Well, and the default is 100 shares. Casual $8,000 going in there. We're not quite going to do 100 shares, I'll tell you that much. And the estimated total is 12.5 shares. Let's slide decide to buy it, I've got a limit order in, so I'm not going to buy anything for over that price. Boom, order fulfilled, done. Well, that was not hard. Now what I'm curious to do is to log out and try and find the portfolio analyzer feature, because that's what I really wanted to see. This is a sweet little dashboard showing me a bunch of nerdy info. So we can see the $1,000 that I just invested. It'll give me my equities to cash ratio. So if you're using this a bunch, it's kind of handy to see that right away. And then I can see my key statistics across my whole entire portfolio. So my NAV, my return, my deposits, the overall performance of my account, which this looks goofy right now just because I've essentially gone from a 0 return to, in the moments that I started investing, down 0.04%, but that's not a big deal. And then I can really easily see what's moving the portfolio the most, who's on the top, who's on the bottom. I've only invested in one thing, so there's not a whole lot to see there. And then we can see my asset allocation, which is really cool. I can sort it by sector, by asset class. This is like nerd heaven. By region, everything's in North America, obviously, for me. And then if you want to know ESG stuff, I got my ESG score, controversies score, the percentage of companies in this account that have ESG ratings, and my combined score. And then I'm guessing that because I've got this arrow, I can click into more details on any of these things, like focus on that. Oh yeah, super nerdy, man. Allocation by asset class, by region, by country, by sector. And then it's cool that I can have allocation goals. So you can say, this is what I'm shooting for, and then you can compare it to what you're actually investing with. So let's do a test goal allocation just for funsies. And let's say I want it to be 95% equities, 3% real estate, 2% fixed income, just to pick some numbers. We'll hit continue. And then how's that look compared to what we're actually doing? Here we go. Oh, cool. So it's just a quick little easy comparison there. And then this will be cool once this actually loads, because I've obviously just done all this right now. Like the money hasn't even landed in the account yet, probably literally. And so this data is still yet to load, but I can compare what I've done versus whatever benchmark I want. So S&P 500 or whatever other kind of thing that I might be competing with or hoping I beat. Like maybe for some reason, I just feel like competing with the dividend aristocrat list. I'll set that as a benchmark. And then I can see right here on my performance chart what my account's doing versus what that account's doing. So at all times you can know. Again, it's just brand new. So none of this stuff has actually loaded yet. Probably take a day or two for it to actually load, but a lot of fun stuff to play with here. Whoa, check this out. We've got a whole retirement planner built into Interactive Brokers. I didn't even know this existed, but let's try it out. Let's say I want to retire at 54, retirement plan end year, AKA when will you die? The retirement planning is always inherently a little bit morbid. Let's just pick 2077, just for the sake of things. Then my expected annual inflation rate. Let's plan for a little bit more pessimistic than normal and say 4%. Let's say my annual compensation is $50,000. And then I think my effective taxes in retirement are going to be pretty low. Let's say 10%. I'll hit save. Let's say I need $5,000 a month to live on. Then we can set our expected market performance assumptions. All this kind of stuff whenever we're projecting out our retirement future, it includes a little bit of retirement assumptions, like what's the market going to do? How much income am I going to have? How much will I need? And we realize that's not an exact science, but we can just make our best guess and get something of an idea, because even if we have a general direction within a range, that's probably wiser than having no direction and no clue and no plan. So the default figures here are below average return of 4.5%, an average return of 7%, and an above average return of 9.5. That's fine for me. I mean, that's pretty conservative still. I think the actual numbers are a little better than that, but that's on the conservative side, and I typically like to be conservative. So now I think this is going to be super bleak, because the only account that it has really linked to give me any kind of retirement income is the one I have within Interactive Brokers. So when I click View My Outlook, it's going to look like I'm running out of money like instantly. So let's look. Yeah, my data is not available at this time. Dang, I'm not quite set up yet. I'll have to come back and try this again later. Okay, one more little tour of this. I just clicked into this Discover feature. So whenever we're doing research, we've got all these different ways to do research. When it comes to in a calendar, you can look up specific things in markets or mutual funds or bonds. We can explore fundamentals, and this is now the Discover page. So this tab is giving us a cool visual representation of what the market buzz is about. You know, what are popular companies? What are people looking at and trading and interested in? And it says these are mentions in the last 24 hours. So people are talking a lot about Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, you know, the standard people here that you would expect them to talk about. In crypto, of course, the big news is Bitcoin. It's been skyrocketing lately. And then there's just so many options, so many cool things to check into. So we can look in technical insight and see all these different stocks that are basically top rated for different reasons. Maybe they're the most viewed and the most bullish stocks. Maybe they're the most popular in terms of people that are looking at them. Maybe they're just trending now. Maybe people are looking at them because they think they're going to go down, like the sentiment is bearish. And then you can have that whole interesting display like we did before on just buzz in terms of like the popularity of something, and look at it through the insight of the fundamentals of the company. So if it's a red circle, then it's got weak fundamentals. Like this Avalo Therapeutics apparently has some really terrible fundamentals right now, where Tyrannus Resources has very strong fundamentals. So if you're the kind of person that wants to come in here and discover a stock based on whatever criteria you want, popularity, fundamental strength, whatever it is, you've got a filter in here to look through and find it. Market overperformers and underperformers. And then you've got something like this, which is like this collaboration, this partnership with Benzinga to be able to tell you in one line the reason why a stock is moving. And so maybe you see something on the news and you're like, what's the deal with this company? Why is it up so much? Well, in one sentence, it tells you what's happening and why. Natera shares are trading higher. The stock reportedly received mention at this particular conference. Then you can click into it and get all the fundamental info that you want to see about a stock just typically. That's literally fundamentals and figuratively just the fundamental like basic data. That's what I mean by that. You just have so many tools. You've got a market scanner where you can set up certain parameters or qualities that you want to see. The most active, top losers, top gainers. You can filter it by price range, by volume. You can do the same thing with bonds. You can do the same thing with mutual funds. Like maybe I want to see Vanguard mixed investment mutual funds. Let's see if there's anything that's there. No? How about Vanguard balanced funds? Is that such a thing? Oh my gosh, we've got a ton. So I could hunt for a particular fund in a fund family or not, and then just scroll over to the right and see tons of information about it just off the bat. And of course, like anything else, you click into it and you get all the information. Oof, for a Vanguard fund, that's got some pretty high expenses, basically 1%. I feel like this is truly the way to dive the deepest and be the nerdiest. If you want to invest that way, man, you've got all the tools in the world here. Oh, one thing we didn't check out is Impact, the Impact Dashboard. Let's do that now. So I'm thinking this is going to be basically an ESG dashboard specifically based around the portfolio that I've chosen. Wow, and then you can specify what values amongst all the ESG things are actually important to you. So do you care about ocean life or fair labor, maybe mindful business practices or clean air? That's so interesting. Ethical leadership, racial equality, you can pick whatever you care about or not. Well, just for the sake of things, I'm just going to prioritize 3 of these randomly. We'll just pick the first 3. These are the important things to me, and then nothing else is, except for ethical leadership is very important. And I'm not going to pick anything else, and let's just see how it curates this for me, just as an example. Oh, wow. And then you can specifically flag business practices that you don't like. You can be like, I'm okay with everything except guns, or I'm okay with everything except hazardous waste. Okay, let's say I'm not into business ethics controversies, but I'm okay with everything else here, just for the sake of an experiment. Aha, now we have it. So based on the things that I have picked, it gives me an impact score, impact values alignment. So I've said I value these things, and then it's going to coach me in ways that I can align with it or not. So I'm doing okay based on my completely random assessment here. The one thing I said that was very important to me that I cared so much about, ethical leadership, I only got a B grade in, and then I got an A in fair labor and ocean life, and then another B in sustainable product lifestyle based on the things that I've invested in here, SCHD. And then it gives me a little summary here. It says my SCHD long position is neutral towards my portfolio impact values. So I'm not like crushing the values that I've chosen, but I'm also not supporting them tremendously. And then I'm guessing at any time I can redo these values, because maybe I find out later, I don't actually care about turtles, take that out. You know, I can come in here and edit them, but that's also cool. If you care about that kind of thing, to have that in there and have it be curated to what you care about, that's pretty awesome to see all that. And even something as simple as this home screen that already has a lot going on, you can curate that even more to what you care about. You can add and edit whatever widgets you want. Maybe you really like news or trades or portfolio analyst screen, which I want to see. I like that. I'll take off cryptocurrencies because I don't necessarily want to see that every day. Let's throw in some economic events and activity statements and hit save and watch it just change. Boom. Now I can see all the things I chose. And this actually gives me a little bit more information here about Portfolio Analyst. So it seems like what this is supposed to be is a connecting of our entire financial life. Brokerage, bank, credit cards, everything to understand your whole picture, which that makes sense here because before we couldn't do a projected income. We couldn't really utilize that retirement planner before. So if you want to really have this be the collation of all those accounts, you've got to link them. Makes sense. Well, I'm stoked to finally be invested with Interactive Brokers here because it's been a little bit of a journey to get this figured out and get started here. It's not quite as simple and fast to set up as something like a Robinhood account or something else, but it's also not really for that person. The person who wants to use this wants more detail. Well, now I've jumped into Traders Academy, and I can't keep going on this video for forever because now I want to take some of these classes and give you a little overview of this because there's so many different topics in here. This one is on technical analysis, and it gives you the video you can watch. There's all these different sections over here that would complete the class, and then there's all these notes that are related to the video, so you can take notes or you can read these as you follow along. Look at all these different topics that you can pick from. Stocks, options, futures, all these different things that you can jump into and learn more about all on the same platform. It is huge. It's wild how much time you could spend here doing research, learning, trading if you want to, but it's really this like massive one-stop shop for you. Then they've even got podcasts and webinars on here. Crazy. Well, we've got to choose to cut this off at some point because otherwise I'll make a 2-hour-long video. But for now, that's enough. If you want to check out Interactive Brokers, I do have an affiliate link in the description so you can see what it would look like for you to set up an account if you're interested in that, or you can just peruse around. There's a lot to see whether you set up an account or not. But check out the link in the description to learn more, and I'll see you guys in the next video right here. Till next time, see ya. Bye.